Welcome in, everybody, to the DNVR World Cup show. We are presented by Vaca TV, and I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, a.k.a. Merchel. And boy, do we have an all-star cast with us today, right here. Super producer Yaya, not producing, he's superstar Yaya. More
I'll
like
make it quick because I know I'm not the main attraction.
That's
so.
right, you're
Hi,
not.
guys.
Okay. Right next to him, we have the GM of DNVR Sports, Andre Simone.
Tale of two halves. Tale of two halves.
Tale of two halves is right. Most importantly, we are joined by Colorado Rapid Littleton legend Cole Bassett. Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Let's
thanks for having me,
go.
guys. I wouldn't put it that far though. Not a legend yet.
Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely.
I'm thinking legend is appropriate.
Dude, he's a Denver legend, man. He is what we want here in Denver.
This is
First
perfect.
off, welcome back, Cole. How's it feel, man?
It's been good. Still a little bit of jet lag.
Yeah?
I've been waking up at like 5 a.m. every day. But it's been nice. I feel like I'm productive actually during the day. So, yeah, it's been
That's good.
Yeah.
Have you seen more sun in the last 20 hours back in Colorado than in 6 months in Holland?
I would say yes, but it's snowed 3 out of the days I've been home.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
yes and no. But it's gray skies over there about 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the deal.
We're so excited to have you on the show, man. As we're all here Colorado people, whether it's born and raised or by spirit, so I know we all love for you to be on the show today with us.
Absolutely. We are super stoked to have you on. We're going to break down the U.S. men's national team 1-1 draw with Wales. We're going to talk some Rapids. We're just going to kind of vibe it out for a few minutes. We're going to choose our man of the match. Number one, Timmy Weah opens up the game with just a gorgeous goal. I think the whole place went nuts. You were downstairs among the people. We were up here for the watch along. How'd it feel to be in that crowd? Pretty good vibes down there?
Yeah, it was. I was pretty surprised at how many people came out, and it was especially on a Monday, work day. So it was pretty good, and it was loud once they scored. I just wish they got a couple more. That would have happened a couple more times.
A lot of chances early. They dominated the first half. I don't even think you could say Wales was involved in the first half.
No, I think the U.S. did exactly what they wanted in the first half. They came out. They were the aggressor. You can clearly tell by the amount of yellow cards that they got in that first half that they were really trying to be like the tone setter for most of that.
Yeah, I mean, first half, Pulisic can get anywhere he wants on the left side. Maybe you want to see a little more direct passing, a little more decisiveness, courage in that final third to try and break through. But you see that in the build-up to the 1-0 goal, and they dominated possession. They dominated in the dangerous areas. I think Turner barely has to touch the ball. There's maybe one errant clearance that's of note. Defense is super solid, but that kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and I want to follow up on Yaya's reffing. There was a lot of cards early, very physical early. Did you think the ref was keeping the cards in the right place? Was it a little too controlling of the pace of the game? I mean, what did you see from that?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple that came out early. I'd rather see a physical game. But, I think they did well to manage. Once they were on the cards, they didn't do anything stupid, so that was good to see. But, yeah, I'd like to, at the end of what he said, it was, the courage in the final third, I think, was the biggest thing lacking for me. They got into that area really well, but, yeah, once they got in there, they didn't create enough in the small spaces to get clear-cut chances.
So as a player yourself, how do you adapt to such a ref that's willing to take out the card real quick and manage the game? How do you adapt to that as a player?
Yeah, sometimes it's frustrating because, for me personally, I like to talk to the ref a lot, and if he doesn't allow you to talk and he kind of, creates his own barrier of what he sees in the game, it's not the easiest at times, especially in a high-intensity game like that. But I think as a team, and Greg's done a good job of this whenever I've been in camps, is you don't really focus on the ref, and he has a good leadership core that kind of keeps the team. I think they did a good job of managing that throughout the game.
One note, and Andre, you were on this early and often through our watch-along, which we had today. Midfield kind of uninvolved in the first half. It was the back line, it was those wingers, it was Dest getting up, and then Pulisic and Weah kind of forcing the action. And you wonder if maybe McKennie and those guys not getting as involved early kind of set them up to fail in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, just from my eye, and I'd love to hear what you saw, Cole, just seemed like there was a bit, while they dominated, they were also happy to be conservative at midfield, let those three kind of stay behind the lines. I expected Weston to maybe try and, get himself in the box, improvise as a number 10 from time to time, go wide. We didn't really see that. Compact back three, stayed conservative, happy to kind of play the ball, not give the Wales any opportunity to counter.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. From when I've been in camps, that's kind of been the way that the midfield is played under Greg. And that's why I think those three fit it well, is they're all kind of bulldogs in there. They're really good defensively, and they're workhorses, but maybe when it does get into that attacking third, they're not quite as good at breaking the lines and have the final pass. But I think that's why we saw the outside backs getting up so high, is he likes Robinson and Dest to have a little bit more freedom, and those guys are able to cover for him. So I would like to see maybe Aronson in the second game, depending on what he decides for the lineup, but I think he brings a little bit more creativity of trying to find the final pass and maybe create a little bit more chances.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you have not only those three guys that you say got that dog in the starting midfield, you bring Aronson on, you bring Kellen on, and you kind of can keep a certain intensity level up, whether or not the possession is feeding through them. You like the way the physicality went through those guys the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kellen fits it pretty well. If you look at all the midfielders that he chose, for the most part, besides maybe Luca De La Torre, and if you classify Brendan as a midfielder, they're all pretty much the same sort of profile. So I think that's kind of the way that Greg wants to play. And, I think especially in knockout games, it should be able to work for the most part, but they do need to be able to score before those guys can kind of close out the game for you.
You're kind of that same type of mid. Like, you're that type too, no?
Yeah, I think I see myself as a balance in between both. I do need to, one of the big parts of my game I need to work on is the physicality, and I would say those guys have a bit of an edge on me, and especially here at Rapids, like playing with Kellen, he was more of that guy. I'd say I was more of Aronson that tried to create more chances, but I'd say I'm a hybrid in between the two, and maybe that's what I need to adapt to more if Greg stays as the coach.
So we did see a lot of they kind of faltered a lot in the final third of creativity. As a player, what's kind of something you can do to adapt to that lack of creativity that sometimes they're missing there?
I mean, it's the hardest part of the game. That's why those guys get paid the biggest bucks.
Exactly.
For me, I think what I've learned, especially being overseas, is a lot of stuff in tight spaces and play and move. I don't think there was enough of you playing and following the ball and stuff like that. It's maybe for a person that's not around it every day, it's harder to explain, but once you learn it and the ability to play and create space and just continue to move, I think it's harder for the defenders to be able to stay with you throughout the whole 90 minutes.
It's kind of the one touch and move, touch and move kind of play. It's kind of sort of like derivative of that tiki-taka that Pep made so famous with Barcelona, but that's kind of what they need a little bit more, I'm guessing. A little bit more.
And is that where the lack of off-ball movement from the midfield is kind of limiting your chances?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you have the outside backs go so high and those three are kind of staying behind his cover, then maybe it's a little bit tougher for them to get forward, and they might get exposed if they do lose it. So it's a balance. You got to take risks if you want to score, but at the same time, it could hurt them the other way. So I think they got to find that, and maybe it means two of them are sitting more and one of the outside backs sits a little bit deeper, and the other one gets the free roam a bit more. But I think maybe it would help Pulisic especially to have somebody to combine with in there, because he had a lot of chances where he's going 1v1 and then he couldn't really find that next pass.
Yeah, we saw that a lot on the right side with Dest moving up and Weah kind of playing off him. You saw A-Rob kind of stay a little bit more back, be that turn into a 3-back line, which I think is what Bassett's saying, that we saw a lot of that not creativity with Pulisic because he had no real support on that left side.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough because, especially with, I think Zimmerman and Ream did a great job on that back line, really holding it down. There was very limited opportunities for Wales
in
that first half. There was almost no chances for Wales. But you do wonder, what's the counter? What's the move for England to put that left side just a little more support? It looked like Pulisic was able to get to the box, right? And so was Weah. They were able to get to the box, but then where's the next play coming from? Can we push that midfield up a little higher? Can they kind of provide? Is it a Ferreira who likes to drift back a little bit? Maybe what move do you guys want to see to kind of solve that problem?
I think I'd love to see Kellen Acosta in that midfield. I think he calms things a little bit more. He's more of a possession player. I think he has a little bit more experience with that, kind of keep the ball, let's survey, we don't find anything, let's look around, see what we can find. That's what I would prefer, maybe a Kellen Acosta over maybe a Musa. Even I'm a big Musaya fan. I think Musa is the next great player out of America.
The Musaya.
I think he might be a little bit better fit with McKennie and Adams. And just kind of let Adams kind of move up a little bit more and keep Caitlin at that pivot, I think would be the move.
I
but
like that.
I don't know if that's the exact thing, but that's I think what England's going to try to attack on Black Friday.
I mean, you've been in their camps. What would be your game plan? Like, to me, I'd sit back a little more, honestly. I might tweak the front three a little bit, but aside from that, it's more like our positioning, and then we got to be ruthless on our counters.
Yeah, I mean, England's going to be a tough. I only saw the second half today, but yeah, that's going to be a tough one. And I think you have to, if you press them and give them the space to play in behind and space in between the lines, it could be tough. So it's tough to say which one you would take out of that midfield. If I'm looking at Greg, I don't know which one he's really going to take out. Maybe Musa today, even though I love him as well. Yeah. I think he adds something that the other midfields don't in terms of driving the ball. So I'm curious to see what he does. Kellen, definitely, I agree, and especially in a game versus England where you need a guy that could break up plays and allow other guys to flourish and have free roam to counter. He could be coming in, but I am curious to see who he takes out.
Guys, I think we should maybe get into our man of the match. You guys want to kick around? I mean,
sure, sounds
we're going to kick it off with Cole. Do you have, if you had to choose one guy from this game to kind of represent the best play we had, who would you go with?
I'd probably go Tyler Adams. I personally love watching him play.
Captain.
Yeah, he just makes everybody around him much better, and the amount of plays that he breaks up in the midfield, for me, he's been doing it all year with Leeds, and then watching that game, especially towards the end, I think he just adds a different element that those other guys don't. So, yeah, he's got to be my man of the match.
Wow.
I think one of my favorite things he does is that stare down after a tackle. And I think he had two of those in this game, and one, they caught it perfectly from the sideline camera. I don't know, nothing gets me fired up like that. Like a good tackle, a good stare down back is nasty, man.
There's that thing going around the internet where he says the F you to every player he tackles as he stares them down.
Is that true?
I haven't been in camp with him, so I don't know.
Okay. All right.
He's so baby-faced, too.
He is. The whole team.
He's kind of a crazy dude, yeah.
Except for Yedlin and Reem.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in camp, is it mostly with the young guys, or have you been able to play with kind of Yedlin, Reem, Acosta, the older, older generation?
I think I've had half and half. I've had the older MLS guys, so I guess I would say I have had the older guys because most of them are in MLS.
That rolled on kind of role.
Yeah, exactly. But I haven't been around like Pulisic, McKinney, Musa, all those young guys in Europe, just with the camps that they go to, or I haven't been called into. So, it's mostly been the older guys here in America.
Awesome.
Dre, let's go to you, man. Who's your man of the match?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be very easy to give it to Timmy, who I thought had a very impactful game. I'm gonna give it to Pulisic though. I really thought he put the team on his back. As far as offensively, I thought his possession was always meaningful when he was in possession and was doing stuff. You'd like to see one more. Also, I don't think we've seen it enough on the replay, but what he's able to do to create that goal is insane. It's all one touch, 1-2. I think it's with Musa, and then gets it to Timmy perfectly in stride. Timmy one touch gets it in, but to me, Pulisic was a level above the rest.
Yeah, and we touched on it a lot, man. He was able to just get into so many dangerous spots. You hope that you keep that. That's not the game plan you're adjusting, right? You want him coming up from that end line, up into the box, and hopefully whether it's a move from Sargent to Ferreira or Sargent to Haji or whatever you do there, maybe it's a midfield mix-up, but you love the dangerous positions he was creating the whole game.
Yeah. I think the player of the match has to be Robinson.
Love that. Let's go.
I think Robinson was the best of the backs today.
Okay.
I thought he really was the backbone of the defense. I thought Reem and Zimmerman did well for the first half. But I think A-Rob was the only one that was able to keep his form throughout the whole game. He helped create that chance. That's a very underrated part of that goal that Weah scored. Mm-hmm. He is the one that gave that header to Musa, right?
I think so, yeah.
And I think Robinson just brought to the defense what it really needed.
Yeah, it's funny you went with Robinson. I was going to go with Serginho Dest. Just for the first 20, 25 minutes, he was the U.S. team. He was creating everything. He was making long runs. Him and Weah were having a great little 1-2 game up on the right. What'd you see from that? Offensively, he was great. I think defensively, he was able to track back fast enough to be involved. What'd you see from Dest today?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I've never really seen that 3-back system that Greg was kind of switching Robinson and Dest between the two that would drop in deeper, but I liked what I saw from him going forward, and I think he could have done it throughout the rest of the game, but I think heavy legs, he hasn't played too many minutes at Milan, so...
Yeah, so what happened in that second half? Is that them being conservative and resting on the lead, or you think it's the weather? I mean, obviously it's hard to say from the outside.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I think it could be. I saw a lot of people saying they wanted Yedlin defensively from the start, so maybe that was in Greg's mind, just as if they had a lead going throughout the game, they would have brought him in. But, I would have liked to see them get a second goal and just kill the game off, and maybe Des provides that.
So you're a huge AC Milan fan.
sure.
I'm a Barca fan.
Yeah.
We've seen Des in Club Cup,
Right.
Yeah.
where we both follow him
Right,
pretty
perfect.
closely
Sounds
because it's our own personal interest.
Yeah.
What would you like to see from Des as a difference?
Yeah.
You that follow him as a club.
You need to speak in the mic more.
I'll speak a little bit better into the mic.
Yeah, no, he's dynamic, he's exciting, he's got speed for days. One-on-one, he's a really deadly player. But he can have those moments where it's one dribble too many. It's or it's the passes isn't quite right. It's that final decision that can get him. And then all young guys outside backs, defensively, he can have his moments. But
That one
the
touch
upside's very intriguing.
That one
he can
touch
be
is
frustrating.
very difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
He just passes a little bit way too far, doesn't do what's needed. And again, I'm a big Des fan because I am a Barcelona fan. Wanted him to succeed really bad in Barcelona. It didn't work out. But again, it's kind of what Andre's saying. That final decision making is just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe give it
Close.
a couple of years
Yeah.
and he'll get there. But it's just not where it has to be. And you kind of saw it in the final third in this game, where he had a chance to cross it, he had a chance to give the key pass, and he kind of lost the ball because his touch just wasn't there yet.
It was close, and you noticed that too. I noticed that with Aronson and Des both. Maybe one too many dribbles on a break, right, where they're running out, and Wales is just smart enough to time that little tap out of the run, and just you lose the ball, you lose all momentum on those runs towards the box on the break. Let's assume all 11 are healthy and the same going into the England game. You can switch out one player for someone else on the bench to start and kind of make the most impact you can. Cole, where would you go with that?
Oof, that's a good one. I think I might bring Kel in, just because I know him so well. But
Sure,
I
yeah.
would love to see him start, and maybe give more freedom to either Musa or McKinney to go out on the break.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it kind of stagnated in that second half, and being able to sort of just calm it down, get the ball to the right places, get the ball out of trouble specifically, I think is really good.
Yeah.
Where would you go with that?
Oh, I'd switch it up on the wings. I'd probably bring Timmy inside and go with Gio on the right.
Love it.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about in our preview
Yeah.
pod too, was maybe Timmy's best spot will be as that 9 if someone can't be the finisher on those crosses.
It's a lot of speed, and he can be pretty direct, and then they're pretty interchangeable up front, which I like. I mean, the less areas to key in on that you can give that English defense, the better. And also, get after Harry Maguire with that speed. Let's do it.
For me, I think it's going to be the Sargent Ferreira move.
Okay.
I love Sargent today. I thought he did great, but I think we need a little bit more out of that midfield. And Ferreira really played that false 9 really well. It would really give the opportunity for Pulisic or Gio or Weah, whoever's out there on those wings, to kind of cut back inside and have another playmaker.
Right.
He really played that Rubio role, kind of like with the Rapids. Great playmaker, but a goal scorer at the same time. And that's what I would prefer to see, just somebody else that can create more chances in that final third.
Right. It felt like Sargent was almost getting buried when that ball got so far up towards the box. And then you kind of had to play all the way back around outside the box through that midfield that was sitting back so far. If Ferreira kind of drifts back, you have just a little more options, kind of get a little more creative, mostly just from ball position itself without taking creativity of the player in, right? Just a little more dangerous of a position.
It's just a little bit more spread out, gives more space, lets people run in different positions, which I think would really be helpful against England.
What is Greg's system in non-possession as far as pressing and all that?
For the most part, it starts with the 9. If it's the same as when I was in there, the 9 starts on the 6, and the wingers are kind of in between the center backs and the outside backs. You look for certain triggers to go, and maybe the 9 steps off the 6, and then one of the midfielders comes to him, or it could be a winger. If the ball's being switched to one side, one of the wingers goes to the center back. It's normally what we worked on, but there was a lot of complexities in Greg's pressing system, and that was kind of one of the hardest things throughout camp that you had to pick up on, because he does change it a lot. But that was the main one that we kind of worked on as a group.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think for me, the back line seems so good. I know it's tough. Zimmerman gets the penalty. I wouldn't really mess with the defense too much. You can't penalty's a penalty and it's a mistake, but for the most part, I thought the defense was pretty sound. I think especially against a team like England where you really need to capitalize when you have the ball, is I would throw Haji up top and just have a bigger body available. Because Sargent, while he's good and he can poach and he can kind of find those loose balls in the box, it'd be nice to just get a bigger physical body who can hold it up, kind of hope that your speed on the wings can fill in around him as he kind of holds it up in the box. We'll see, though. I mean, I think overall you can't be too mad about this game. Point against Wales. You went up early, yes. Couldn't hold it, yes. Disappointing.
For sure.
I mean, are you optimistic, I guess, going into this England game?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think the most important thing, I mean, I would have loved to win today, but they needed at least a point to get out of the group.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to beat either Iran or England. It doesn't matter which one it is, but I think if they win one of the next 2 games, they should be through.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Man, Cole, I just want to say, from us, thank you so much for coming. You're back in Denver. Are you here for a while? Are you heading back overseas?
I think right now I'll be here through the holidays, so I'm excited about that.
Nice.
I haven't really seen family in about 5 months or so it's been nice to be back with everybody and just see a lot of familiar faces as well. So, yeah, I'm excited to be back for now.
Nice.
I know a lot of us were excited when you were coming in.
Hyped.
We were really hyped to see Cole Bassett, the man, the legend from Denver, Colorado, Mr. Cole Bassett.
Yeah, let's go.
Our guy. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. We're going to have RK come in here in just a sec. First, we are going to talk about our partners over at Game Time. Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site. Makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concert, and shows. You ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could? 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate, floor seats at a concert? It is possible with the Game Time app. Biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. You won't find a better deal this season on tickets at all. We got Nuggets, we got Avs. Do you want to sit courtside? Game Time will get you the best seats at Ball Arena, no doubt. On the glass, go ahead and check that out. Get up to a Buffs game, get up to a Rams game. It's basketball season, and we are hyped. It is created by fans, for fans, and it guarantees the lowest price. So go ahead, use Game Time. We have a description in the show notes. Click through there anytime you're going to go buy it there. Big help to us and big thank you to Game Time. We are also brought to you by Evoca TV. It is the new GOAT in Colorado sports. That is the greatest of all television. Evoca delivers amped up sports coverage for Colorado fans featuring Altitude Sports, AT&T Sportsnet. You get all the regional content in Colorado for the lowest price. That is Avs. That is Nuggets. That is DU. That is CSU. That is UNC. That is
Rapids.
Metro State. That's Rapids. Go Roadrunners.
You can
Had to
also
throw that
watch
one
the
in there a
World
little
Cup
bit.
on Fox and Telemundo on Evoca TV.
Watch it in Telemundo, man. Watch it in Telemundo.
It's
it gets
brutal
so
on
lit.
Telemundo, man. I love Telemundo, but it's rough. I'll tell you
It's
that much.
fast, but man, it gets so hyped. Did you know? Hey, RK, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
here.
I gotta give a claps to who I'm subbing in for. You know.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta
dude,
give it to him.
appreciate
Yeah.
Cole Bassett, man. Colorado
Give him a
legend.
shout out. Yeah.
RK, did you know that our Serbia crew
outstanding.
our Nuggets crew went to Serbia?
I hadn't heard.
It's true. I called them the Serbia crew. That's how Serbian they have become since they went there.
They all came back with Serbian passports, by the way.
Yeah, they are now official royalty of Serbia. They went over there to learn more about the history and culture of a country that delivered the city of Denver a 2-time MVP, and we are absolutely blown away by the support of the documentary that we put out on Evoca TV, 100 Invisible Threads. The next run, I missed the next run, but hey, if you didn't catch it on Evoca, we will be premiering it later, but thank you, Evoca, for hosting it and showing
Thank
it
you,
throughout the
Evoca.
month since we debuted 100 Invisible Threads.
I watched game 1 of the World Cup, by the way, on Evoca yesterday.
There you
It
go.
was amazing. It was great. Thank you, Evoca. You made it possible.
Absolutely.
Vodka, our people.
Go to evoca.tv/DNVR. $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee. You can watch your favorite Colorado sports teams and original DNVR content. Thank you, Evoca TV.
Thanks, Vodka. Number
Guys.
1. Way to go.
Guys, we're about half an hour, 45 minutes after that game. Big emotional highs. Deep lows. RK, where's your head at right now?
Yeah, first of all, a little bit of a tough sub, whoever made this call.
Yeah.
Bad sub.
Hey,
And
hey.
Yeah, what are
maybe-
your insights from being in Greg Berhalter's camp?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think that this is a Berhalter-esque sub right here, bringing me on for Cole Bassett. I would
this is
not have done
Jordan
that.
Morris.
This
huh?
is Jordan Morris
Yeah.
coming
Okay,
in
so
instead
when
of Gio Reyna. This is
Similar
literally the
wagon
two.
and thickness, you know. So I
Hey, when you're
appreciate
playing,
that.
I don't know,
off
man. I'd
of-
rather have RK than Jordan
Absolutely.
Morris any day of the week.
Absolutely.
when you're playing off of a Kellen Acosta, no,
Yeah,
I mean, like, where's your head? I mean, do you feel good? I mean, you are like, to me, you know, we get really in the weeds here. To me, you're kind of like our totem of
perspective.
fansmanship,
Yeah.
right? Like, where's your head at?
I don't know. It's weird because it's just like you came into the game saying draw or win, nothing else is acceptable. And I think if you would have told me, maybe not this morning, but last night, like, you can have a draw, sign on this line. I think I sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you never know, like
Yeah.
something goes wonky early in the game, you go down
Yeah,
1-0,
true.
you're pressing, you give up another one, and then like the tournament might be over for
Right,
you. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
So for me, I think I'm okay. It's just the little things within there that you're like, man, there's so many missed opportunities there. I really don't think you needed that dangerous of a challenge on the play that ended up, resulting in a penalty. It's not like if Bale gets that ball on his foot, he's putting it in the back. Like
Yeah,
you can
it's no
close them off
guarantee.
there without leaving your feet and
Yeah.
and giving them an opportunity for that penalty. So
It's a great point.
that's what hurts. I've seen a new take on Twitter, which I didn't know, is just like hating on the idea of penalties. I think I'm pro
Wow.
get rid of penalties.
It
like,
took one World Cup penalty for RK to change his whole view on the sport.
I didn't know
Let's
that was an
go.
acceptable take, but now I've seen it enough places. I'm like, yeah,
That's amazing.
it's not like I'm in if it's like denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity, kind of like hockey, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you take down a guy who's gonna put it on net right then and there, but like any foul inside the box being a penalty. Anyways, that's a whole other bag of words.
I love it.
But for me, I'm a bit relieved that they came out of this
without a loss.
without a loss, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like they should have won. And that's
did.
the hard part is like you dominate. And they kind of lull you to sleep a little bit,
Yeah.
Wales does. And I think that had an effect on the U.S. As soon as they started attacking aggressively, in hockey you'd say they slanted the ice. They kind of slanted the field on us and started getting lots of chances and, commanding the play.
Especially the first 15 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, that's really where I felt it kind of just, it ended up in chaos around the 80-minute mark. Everything was
Yeah.
just kind of standing around, kick, long ball, stand around,
The
kick,
long balls were
kick.
working, though.
Yeah.
Early, at least.
Yeah, early it was great. I mean, early it was intentional. There was 1-2 play off of a long ball. There was support.
I kind of want to hyper focus a little bit on that Zimmerman penalty.
Okay, let's go.
Because that
Talk
Zimmerman,
it up.
I talked about this before we got into the World Cup. Zimmerman has a knack for that one mistake that will always cost the U.S. He's done it against Mexico multiple times. That's how I know. And he had support right behind him. He had players there to
2
support
players.
him.
2 players.
And he still took that dumb penalty,
Yeah.
which gave Wales the draw that wasn't needed. If he would have just kept his position, would have stayed in front of him, it would have
Force him
been
to pass it
perfect.
off, yeah.
Exactly. There was no chance for. And if Gale makes that goal, all hats off to Gale, to Gareth Bale, because that's a goal for ages. Because he had 3 players closing in on him, but Zimmerman made the mistake, and that's
Yeah.
what made this become a draw.
I think the other big frustration for me is they could not get a cross in.
No.
That is, it might have been until the 70th minute that they beat the first man with a cross, whether it was on a corner, set, when they're attacking up the flank.
The corners to me, I mean, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
I don't know if they actually
Their
found
free
out-
kicks
Yeah.
suck.
I don't think they
Well,
found
just their
one
set
American
pieces
head
in
on a free
general.
kick.
No. And it was just, those are the places where you're going to get chances is by using your speed out on those flanks and sending one in. And
tourney ball.
they created no danger on those. On a lot of them, there wasn't even a second ball there. It was just hits the first man, it's cleared out. The one good one that they had in was still really low. It's like,
Yeah.
I need some volume on these crosses. That was really frustrating, especially from Pulisic.
Pulisic was. I thought Pulisic was great tonight. honestly.
Yeah, he got the ball at his feet in dangerous positions, but what do you do? Who do you send it to now? Who is going to not lose in the air? Because anytime Sargent left his feet, there were 2 defenders above him. They had the better position. They were more physical.
Yeah, he hits the post and then not much else in the first 20 minutes. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it just seemed like, oh, this is why Haji Wright's on this team.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we're going
You
to
see
do
him
cross
among
it
the
30
subs,
times
too.
a game, we need someone huge to be on the
Yes.
end of those. What sucks is Haji Wright plays 20 minutes. Feels like he's not on the end of one cross.
I
not
thought
one.
They couldn't get a cross in.
It was insane.
Well, no, and when they did get the crosses in, they were just wild without any direction. And I think that's something that either Berhalter or the wingers have to work on, because I think Berhalter had the right idea. Like, because you usually see it in the soccer games, just wild crosses, try to get something, either a rebound, either a header, something. And it just felt like their crosses were way too wild. They had no direction, when usually they're like, all right, let's go front post, because if you go front post, you have a little bit better odds of making that goal.
You get some garbage balls. You get
something
something bouncing around. I kind of like, I mean, I'm not going to agree with Logan's point fully, because I think Christian does have a great foot on a free kick. But maybe if Kellen has to start for an injured McKinney, you have just that other option on free kicks. You can mix it up a little bit. And maybe he's able, because like Christian was, I don't want to say it was so bad. They weren't connecting. He kept it low. He kept it about goal height, about crossbar height a lot of the time. And just, it wasn't physical enough on the receiving end, I thought.
Yeah, and I mean, these should be like plays and schemes you've practiced and like have in place based on your opponent. They didn't work out, back to the drawing board. Let's figure this thing out so you actually are dangerous against him.
Of course.
Because that ain't it. I mean,
Because
that
England
just
is
ain't
going
it.
to be much harder in the box to crack on a free kick.
Yeah.
And they got Harry Maguire. How much harder can they be?
He's huge. He might not be great, but he is huge.
Yeah, but he's still Harry Maguire.
Still Harry Maguire.
Did you guys do man of the match?
Yeah, we did.
But we
Who's
didn't
your
hear
man of the
yours.
match?
I couldn't hear from over here. It was so lit in the
It
bar.
was lit in the bar.
So who did you guys give?
I gave mine to A-Rob.
Okay, good choice.
I went Pulisic.
I went with Dest, only because your boy sitting here.
Hold on.
All right.
Well, who did Cole take?
He took your boy.
Oh, okay, all right.
Tyler Adams,
Jeez, one guy gets it right. It's
We all didn't want to
it's the
say
real
the same
football.
one. It's
We were
not the
trying to be a
segment.
little bit different
dude,
on
we're
here.
trying.
No,
It's
No, he
good
barely
TV.
touched the ball.
He was everywhere.
Yeah, but not touching the ball.
He barely touched the ball.
He was everywhere except on the ball.
I don't know. I felt like
They were in possession the entire first half.
he was far and away the most impactful player
No,
on the pitch.
I
No,
barely saw him
Pulisic.
on the ball. If I'm
Pulisic.
honest.
It was Pulisic. This is the Pulisic
If-
show, man.
If I'm honest, the real man of the match, it's Pulisic. I think he's overrated. I've said this multiple
He's a
times.
hater on
but
Captain
I
America,
thought
bro.
Pulisic played great today. I thought Pulisic really showed why Captain America is the right nickname for him.
He's not even the captain.
He acted like it. Did you
Yeah,
see? He was
he
talking
did.
to the ref the whole time.
After today's
That
game,
was
I'm
crazy.
like, Berhalter gave it to the wrong guy.
Yeah.
It was the
that
players
was
who
crazy.
decided.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Yeah,
he just-
26 votes, and then
Berhalter should have overridden that vote immediately.
I don't know. Whatever. I
I think
Adams
Tyler
held
has to
himself
grow
well.
into the role a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
For sure.
Tyler Adams is definitely like that Clint Dempsey role where people
for
love him
sure,
and he's
dude.
like really talented and he can become something great. He just has to fill his full potential.
He
now.
plays angry too.
Yeah. I mean,
he plays
he's-
angry.
You see it in his face. He's so young.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He's so young.
They're all kids.
This is literally we're just watching Leeds play against Wales.
I will say Pulisic, he is, and we already knew this, but he's far and away the best player on the ball that they have, and it's no wonder why every single time they get it down there, they're all just looking for him. Just get him the rock.
He'll be the best player on this squad for the next year until Musa really comes into his own.
Okay, should we talk Musiah? Is it Musiah time?
I think it's Musiah time.
Musiah corner?
A little quiet in the first half.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little quiet.
I think he found a rhythm from about minute 40 to about minute 70.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was the support on the left side that Pulisic needed.
Yep.
If you can find the 1 Musa, 2 Pulisic, 3 question mark, that's the success. That's where this team is going to find a few more goals, I think.
It really felt like Greg Berhalter kind of left Pulisic to do everything by himself over there on his wing.
Yeah, not enough support up top.
Yeah, exactly. And he kind of realized that Pulisic couldn't do everything by himself, and he let Weah kind of drift a little bit more, help him out a little bit on that wing. But you could really see why Dest was pushing up the most out of the 2 wing backs.
Oh, God, so
he
much.
I think he felt that out of his 2 wingers, Weah was the weak link. even though he loves Weah, and I thought Weah had a great game, I think he thought Weah needed a little bit more support. So he gave. That's why he gave the green light to Des to like push up and kind of help out.
Pulisic kind of operate on it.
Exactly.
And it's interesting. Cole was talking about it as a back three system.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, honestly, that's kind of modern football. Modern football has turned into that back three.
Right.
Even if you go with the back
Rapids
five.
do that. Rapids do this all the time. Lucas is almost a forward half the time. Keegan will push up on the other side, and it's a back line that's a 4, but it's swing, right? It's this way, and then it rotates this way, and you're kind of covering for each other on that back line.
It's kind of very
And they were
fluid.
solid. They were rock solid on that rotation.
I mean,
for 85 minutes or whatever.
I mean, I'm a Barca fan, so you see it a lot with Barca, with Jordi Alba kind of pushes up.
Yeah.
Pep allows a lot of people just to kind of push up as well. It kind of like alternating back three, depending who's back there. I think Greg Berhalter really kind of adapted to that style of football this World Cup. But I think there's just a lot of little kinks that he has to work out before he truly goes full in on this. He needs to kind of give Pulisic a little bit more support in the midfield because he can't go through 3 players every single time, which is kind of what he was letting him to do in that first half.
Well, and that's what's crazy about the World Cup is it's so vast and it's so important and it's so big. And you roll out there for the first game, you might only get 3. And you're learning stuff about your team.
Yeah, they haven't played in so long.
Exactly.
8
and
years.
It's great. It's so crazy because if you think about, a game of similar significance, you talk about like, a Stanley Cup, even just a playoff game or an NFL playoff game. You know everything there is to know about your team by the time you take the pitch or the field for that big game. And it's like this one, you kind of learn a lot about the team in game 1, which again is why it's so important to not lose and have something weird go against you early. But I thought the defense was a lot better. I thought, that was a weak link coming in. Yeah. And they really, really held their own. And I thought Ream did fantastic.
Ream should have been the answer since day one.
Yes.
It unfortunately took an injury for Berhalter to realize it. But Ream was a Premier League level defender who's captaining a West Ham side who's feisty.
Fulham side, but yeah.
And he should have been there from the beginning.
Rockstar, man. I mean, quiet, but that's kind of what you want out of your center backs.
Yep.
Right? Like, we're all going to be talking about Walker Zimmerman. Right? And that's because
of
a pretty bad foul. But we're not going to be talking about Tim Ream because he was in the right place at the right time and cleared well, held his line. I'm just really impressed because I think everyone was a little nervous seeing that. I mean, I'm not going to call him old. He's like 2 years older than me or something like that. But like
35?
Yeah. He's like, but like, I think everyone was like, oh, Tim Ream, athleticism. Is that what we're doing? And then he was pretty good.
But you need that old guy. You need the old head. There's a reason we have Andre on this pod, man. Like, he's the guy that knows football the best. Right. With all due respect.
This is what happens when Yaya hits the mimosas at 9 a.m., dude.
Yeah, dude, I love Dre, dude. Dre's one of my favorite people on the NVR. But he's the guy that's been around football longer than I have.
He's certainly watched more matches than any of us.
Exactly,
that is
dude. Like,
fact.
I know football. I know CONCACAF like the back of my hand because I was born and raised into this. But Dre has been around. He's watched high-level football for a long time, and he knows what's needed. And that's kind of what the American defense needed. They needed a guy that come in there and be like, we are the calming force. There's times on the watch-along where I was like, I looked at Dre and I'm like, what do you think, Dre? Because I know Dre's that reliable force. That's going to get it. Yeah, like he is our Tim Ream. He is the
Tim Ream.
He is
making me blush over
unsung
here.
hero for the squad.
Andreem Simone.
Like,
Andre Rimone.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's the unsung hero to so much things in the NVR. We all love him so much, and we needed him on the watch along because he does have that football knowledge that I even don't have, even though I watched football my whole life since I was like 2 years old watching Mexico, CONCACAF, MLS, Liga MX, and all this. And Dre just brings so much more experience that even I could wish I could have at this point.
So when do I get to rattle off my take that Brendan Aronson should be starting?
You are going to get that off.
You don't get a chance because that's a bad take.
Hold on. You're going to get that take off right after we talk about our friends at Denver Health. Denver Health Medical, it's open enrollment time for individual health plans right now through January 15th. Denver Health Medical Plans, Elevate Exchange Plans, available on Connect for Health Marketplace. Great benefits, affordable plan choices. You can also call direct at 303-602-4912 and sign up online at denverhealthmedicalplan.org. Elevate Exchange plans have options for individuals and families looking for cost-effective, quality health insurance for those who might not get coverage through their employer or who might be self-employed and need to get coverage. All Elevate Exchange plans include adult dental and vision at no additional cost. Take care of the teeth. Do it.
Yo, shout out Denver Health, man. They took care of my father-in-law after he had his stroke. Great people to work with. They were always there with him. They did a great job. We appreciate all they did to our family, man, because they kept our father-in-law, my father-in-law still going, man. So shout out Denver Health, man. They were great, dude. I love them a lot.
Absolutely.
I was also born in Denver Health the day my in-laws were getting married. So there's connections after connections, man.
Mr. Denver Health.
Dude,
Mr.
shout out
Denver
Denver Health, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
if I'm gonna support any Denver any Denver establishment, it should be Denver Health.
Let's go.
Love Denver Health.
They
man.
offer
Shout out.
lower monthly premiums than any plan currently available on the marketplace.
Love this.
And we've added new mental health benefits for your
Let's
regular
go.
copay. Go online or give a call at 303-602-4912. Come on, shout out, man. Denver Health, big time.
Shout out.
Big
I-
time. One
I
more,
love
one
Denver
more.
Health, man. I'm a big
Right.
Denver Health guy.
Mr. Denver
honestly.
Health, love it. Also,
Exactly.
Green Mountain Dental Group. They're like the OG homies of DNVR.
Yes, for real.
The most rewarding thing about DNVR is seeing the connections made through our listeners in the community. Green Mountain Dental is an OG partner of ours and major
Gonna hook
Colorado
it up.
sports fans. They've been a supporter of DNVR since the very beginning. We've had countless fans and our own staff convert to Green Mountain Dental and never look back. Are you guys Green Mountain Dental?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Till I die, bro.
Let's-
Obviously.
A go.
I can't even name another dentist.
I actually can't
Like
either.
I try to, but like I've been in such a BSN /
There
DNVR
are
fan
other
for such
dentists.
Couldn't tell you.
Impossible. No,
Impossible.
No, Green Mountain
Located
Dental.
just 15 minutes from downtown Denver and Lakewood. CSU alum Dr. Ben and his team have you covered from general dentistry
Scope?
like cleanings.
Can I get a scope?
You can.
Okay.
Let's go Buffs.
Scope up.
Prime time, baby.
Thank you.
They also offer orthodontics, such as removing those pesky wisdom teeth. Have you guys had your wisdom teeth out?
No.
I refuse to.
Within the last 6 months. Hell yeah.
Hey, well, shout out Green Mountain.
Me and Ryan know about this because of
Bam.
Beth. We were.
I'm not trying to lose my wisdom. I only have so much.
That's
Yeah,
true. Keep the
true.
teeth in there, Arcade.
I have
And
We
most
need
of your
less
wisdom
as a
just
company.
come from Tyler Adams being a starter.
Let's go.
Okay, Green Mountain Dental has a few offers for the DMVR fam. Tell the team that DMVR Sports sent you $300 discount on a
mentioned
full
it.
orthodontics treatment. $300? Come
Fire.
on.
Let's
If
go.
you mention DNVR Sports, you get a free set of bleach trays, a $350 value with a new patient cleaning exam and x-rays. Get those bleached up in white. Get those shining, man. Look
Yes.
good on the gram, dude,
Get
for
your
sure.
bleach on,
I
you
need
know?
to hit up Green Mountain Dental here in
Lastly-
the next
Yeah,
2
yeah.
weeks.
For all the hygienists out there, Green Mountain Dental is hiring. Full and part-time positions are available. They're willing to work with your schedule as well as offering great benefits package with healthcare and PTO. Thank you, Green Mountain Dental. Okay, it is time. I know you were waiting with bated breath. It is time for RK to unleash his Aronson take. Go for it.
Well, I've just been saying this from the start, right? As soon as we started talking World Cup around here, I'm like, BA's got to start. And I don't want to, take down the guys who are in there in place of him too much, but I felt like you did not get much quality from anyone other than Tyler Adams in the midfield. And maybe there's a little, but I just, you saw when he got in there that he was able to make an impact, but I didn't feel like he was crisp. And I feel like that's the best case for starting him is like when you watch him play at Leeds, he commands the game from that area. And he, you put him on the ball, he makes plays, he gets other guys involved. And, you said you didn't see Tyler on the ball much, which I think is fair. When those two are playing together, Tyler gets off the ball as soon as he can to get the ball to Aronson. I just felt like you see a guy who, when he gets in there, he's just making runs and getting involved. And he was missing. It felt like he was at 90%, and I felt like he could have worked up to that 100% and made some big plays for these guys if he started. And now you've got potentially an injury in there to
we'll
Weston.
see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But
I've
always felt like
that
he should
idea.
be starting, and I felt like today only confirmed my feelings.
And I do wonder if he is more of a 60-minute guy, not that 30-minute guy. right?
Yeah.
Like maybe it does take that full 60 minutes to kind of because he's so
definitely
hyper,
a 60-minute guy
and he
because he's going to
bounces-
run till he has like
he
he's
bounces
out of breath.
back and forth. He's all over the place. He's in people's grill. He's like a mosquito out there. He's just the most annoying guy on the field.
Yep.
And maybe he just didn't have enough ramp up time, especially
feel
when you're
like it.
playing that hurry up game.
Well, that's the thing is, it's like you're in desperation.
Yeah, and that's not where he
the game
thrives.
was like
Yeah.
It's
completely falling apart
Yeah.
when he came
Yep.
into it.
And you kind of look at that defense and you look at that Ream Robinson connection because they're both at West Ham. You're like, that's going to be a great connection for the future.
And it was.
right? And it was. They helped out. So you kind of looked at Tyler Adams and you look at Brendan Aronson as the same connection.
That's a good point.
There's that kind of like
point.
familiarity where you're like, all right, let's get this done. I know where you're going to be at every turn, and that's kind of what the U.S. was missing because there were passes where it
great
looked
point.
like it was
Great
to
point.
nowhere. I've advocated this from the beginning. I'd love to see a Gio Reyna and Brendan Aronson as a double attacking midfielder
Love that.
with Tyler Adams in the pivot, and then you have Pulisic and you have Weah on the edges.
I love it.
And you just kind of go full on attack.
That's
and
like you just kind of built the Rapids.
that's
Like,
literally
but
what.
obviously
Rapids-
the A+ version, but that's how
Yeah.
how they built out.
and that's kind of what I think the U.S. should be like. Again, Greg Berhalter is not a creative guy.
Nope.
I think he's part German, so
Clearly.
he's like part like literally like to the schedule,
man.
like what it is.
Yeah.
So like they're about tech. They're about like being about technical, not about creativity.
To the letter.
Yeah, like to the letter. Like, they're like,
Absolutely.
we're gonna go like that's the German way. Like, let's be super technical. Let's try to get the perfect pass. Let's try to get the perfect play.
Absolutely.
And I think the U.S. should really flourish on that creativity.
They had no creator in there.
Especially if you can put like Musa on the wing, which he can play sometimes. And if you instead of like you just have creativity with Pulisic on one side, you have Ferreira as the 10, as the 9, and then you have Musa as the other wing. And then you have a double 10 in Aronson and Gio. There's endless amount of creativity that's going to happen which is what they struggle with the most.
So much.
And they're so fast that they can all recover on defense easily.
Yeah.
And they're very active players. They're not players that stay in their final third. They're not players that stay just on their half. They run they run all the way back because that's how they've been trained in their European clubs. That's how they've been trained by Greg. Everybody on defense, everybody on offense.
Yep.
I mean, I just think the midfield needs to give you more
Creation.
from a forward-thinking
Yeah.
perspective.
Of course.
Whether it's creating and providing more playmaking, or it's just guys being able to like give you more numbers by coming up front. One way or another, Aronson could give you that. I was kind of disappointed in Weston. I thought
too.
Weston
Yeah.
needed to.
I think he was really feeling that leg injury he has.
I mean,
That's disappointing though.
He's a big player though. Like this is.
He's your
we've
box
seen
to
it-
box. He's your get ahead on a ball
Well,
in
and
the
as
box
far
guy.
as like regular minutes at a top club,
yeah.
that's the guy who's getting them.
He plays
kinda
all
wanna-
of them at Juve. I mean, he's as big
kinda
as it
wanna-
gets.
If you want to compare it to like a top tier player, he kind of has to give you that De Bruyne role where he's like running back, running forward, and creating that opportunity whenever you need it.
Yeah.
And like it's not saying like, oh, he's the next Kevin De Bruyne, but he needs to play that role where it's like come back, come forward.
Yeah.
He needs to play that role of like the Hector Herrera's with Mexico. He needs to be that guy that can be ready to be get that ball in when they recover
To me,
from
he's more
defense.
like Guandogan on the City.
Again, very good
Right.
comparison.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they need from Maris.
yeah.
They need a little bit more, a little bit of defense, enough to give them give the other team trouble to get past that final third, but enough to give them a quick upstart going into the counter.
I guess my question to you guys would be: what changes do you expect to see
None.
against England? None.
Oh, I would disagree with that. I mean, number one, I think they're going to rotate that Sargent role. I don't think Sargent is entrenched as all.
He was
at
invisible.
all.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that nice play about minute 15 off the
Yep.
post, something
Yep.
like that,
Yep.
and then sort of disappeared.
But
and I
outside
think
of the first
he's just
20,
not physical enough
no.
with those backlines, and England's only more physical. Like whether or not they're a skilled backline, they're big and burly, and they are going to be pushing you around.
You know Maguire's going to throw those elbows.
I think you either. I mean, you could go. I think either one is good. Ferreira is going to play a little back towards the top of the box and be a little more, as a little more of a conduit to more plays on either side. Or you have Haji who can hold it up, who can get his head on it, who can just kind of bend it around to those far corners. He loves that low rolling bender to the corner.
Yep.
And I think those would have been there because Sargent doesn't have that same hold up play. I liked what you saw from the midfield. I liked what I saw from the back line. I don't know where else you make a change to really impact this game.
What about you, Dre?
Aronson.
It's the obvious one. It's the obvious switch up front. The back three, I mean, I think you make a really good point for Aronson over Weston, especially if Weston's not feeling it. Like, you just
And
need
it didn't
more.
feel like he was ever feeling it today, which makes me disappointed
Right.
in not learning that in training.
Right.
Being like,
Yeah,
he's
I know.
not quite himself yet.
Yeah.
Let's give him the 30.
Right. Well, and if Sargent's going to play, like, Sargent was really, like, a defensive 9, right? Like, he's coming back. He's, like, just as cognizant of how he's playing off ball than as he is when we're attacking. So you need that midfielder to counter that and push forward. But, yeah, I mean, it's the change at the 9, and it's what I was saying with Cole. I'd switch Timmy inside to the 9 role and bring Gio in. Just get some creativity.
But my biggest thing is
Like, if Pulisic's running circles around guys, Gio's going to do similar shit on the right side.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly. But my whole thing is like, what changes do you expect? I don't expect none.
Okay.
Because Greg Burkhalter is a man of habit. He's a man
Sure.
of he's gonna ride. He's all enough good things from the squad today where he's like, no changes needed. That's why I would personally replace Weah
Now
with
that
Gio.
being said, you're one bad Zimmerman decision, right? If he just keeps his feet, if he just stays on his feet, you win 1-0. Then we're like, why would we change anything, right? So why let that one bad moment truly change what you're doing? I felt like you were the better team,
But if you had-
85% of this game.
Yeah.
If you had a little more quality in the first half, you might have been up 2-0.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
And
that to
coming out
me-
of that halftime too, it felt really discombobulated.
Yeah, I don't feel like they dominated 85%
Sure,
of the
yeah,
time
that
when
was
it
a little.
all
I
said
got a
and
little
done.
in my.
I think it was a very 50-50 split at the end of the day.
that's
Maybe 60-40 because they did.
Very 50.
Well, you have to give them the whole first half. You have to give the U.S. the whole first half.
yeah.
yeah.
And I only thought Wales dominated for the first 15 minutes of the second half.
Sure, and then the
After-
game kind of breaks open, but God, they weren't very dangerous in the
Oh,
second
not
half.
at all.
They didn't
There
do
was
shit.
not
I believe 5 shots, 1 on goal. 6 shots, 1 on goal for the U.S. 7 shots, 3 on goal for Wales. U.S. 60% possession, 59% possession.
See, but this is where I come back that my dream lineup would be a double 10, a double attack in midfield with Gio and Aronson.
and
then
you just want to go like a true back 3 behind all that?
exactly like no, you just like you keep the exact same like formation you have. You just like the midfield's gonna get flipped instead of
Sure,
having
sure.
two defensive midfielders, you have 2 attacking midfielders.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
And then you bring in Tyler Adams who can control the pivot, and you got 4 fast guys up front that can just run all the way back.
Because
and
you
run
are,
all
you're
the
going to
way
have,
forward.
you're absolutely going to have
He's
to
just
be
not
able
gonna do
to
it.
run back
Yeah.
against.
Yeah.
Not against England.
You have Rashford,
No, like-
Sterling, Kane. Like they got horses to run back the other way.
I think this is the formation though for England. This is the like
Yes,
press 'em,
absolutely.
You're
Yeah.
happy not touching the ball for like 60% of the
Exactly.
time, and we're gonna be dogs, and we're gonna try to counter you.
Dude,
I
defensively.
will say it was tough for me to watch. Just getting slowly used to watching Leeds and the way that they attack and pressure you in your own half when you have the ball. Watching the U.S. just allow the keeper to do whatever he wanted back there with it just drove me insane.
Well, like,
force
that-
him to make a bad decision.
Well, that's kind of like how modern football. Oh, he's over here choking on, on the
yeah,
World Cup.
okay.
He's choking on World Cup excitement at the
That's true,
DNVR
he's
box.
hyped.
Oh my God.
So like that's the thing though. Like that's kind of how modern football is played, where
Yeah.
keepers get the chance to make decisions now.
Yeah.
Because they
I
don't
just
think
hate it.
keepers were not trained to make decisions back in the day. Now they're trained to be quick on their feet. They're quick to make a quick pass or find the open guy upfield. And I felt like Matt Turner, who I think is the best American goalkeeper, did not have that quick decision.
Oh man, he got his hand on that too, and Bale ripped it.
Yeah.
I mean, he really ripped it.
Look,
but
it's
still-
Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Gareth Bale. You can't be mad that he. I mean,
Oh, top
You're not
corner.
mad. It was just like, oh, he
It's
guessed
Gareth
it right.
Bale.
He got a hand on it.
yeah.
I had bottom right. We all had our predictions where it's going.
Yeah.
I thought it was bottom right. I had the right part right, but not the top.
Yeah, I mean, he got there. It was just
Yeah.
Bale absolutely murdered that
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, that's the perfect shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
It's
what
tough,
it
man.
is. I still think Zimmerman had a way better options than having to attack midfoot.
Oh, you didn't have to. You didn't.
yeah,
Have
there's no reason.
Real quick, a good comment from my guy Bryce here. Can you bring that up, Allie? Allie? Can you bring up the comment from Bryce? He says against England, we won't have near the amount of possession. We will have a lot of counter opportunities, which BA will thrive in. Only concern, we had counters in the second half and didn't show any danger off them. But I
I think that's when you have to combine the BA move with the striker move.
Yeah,
And I think Sargent is productive. He's as productive as any U.S. goal scorer there is at the club level. But we need to play tourney ball now. You need that physical monster up top, I think.
Yeah, this is the time where you really got to show up. I think it's actually the opposite. I think it's U.S. going to dominate possession.
Really?
And
Wow,
I really do think. I think England's going to be really happy because I think they have the faster players and the better striker. I think they're going to try to use that counter.
I'm excited for the Jude Bellingham, Tyler Adams on either end.
Dude, that's
exciting, man. That's like
the matchup of that game.
I love watching Tyler play, man. He's just such a dog.
If you love Tyler, you'd love Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is literally what
beautiful
everybody
goal today.
loves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. So, group play or match day 1 of the group.
They're tied for second.
England, I mean, dominates Iran. I think the 3 non-Iran teams should get 3 points off of Iran.
Iran,
correct. Do you feel like any teams? Can you say that England truly separated themselves by dominating a team they should have dominated? U.S. looking good for most of that time and only losing because they conceded a late penalty. Do you feel like anybody is there a clear 1 through 4 right now?
What I worry most about is now you're really at the mercy of goal differential.
That's
it
true.
feels like that's going to come into play. And as always is for the U.S., like finishing is the problem. So they're going to get a million chances against Iran. Are they going to be able to finish enough compared to Wales? Which who knows? Who knows? Wales didn't even really have any opportunities to finish for most of the game. They didn't. That's what I worry about. Is like now it's like Iran is, everyone is looking, we got to score 4 against them. And I just worry about our ability to do so. That's my biggest fear coming out of this is you're probably at the mercy of goal differential when it all comes down.
Maybe 3 points against England and you're not.
Well, yeah, of course. Then you're going to win the group.
3 points against England and you're not. Is that... Look, obviously, we all want the 3 points against England. Am I crazy for thinking it's available?
Yeah, no, you're not crazy for thinking it's available. I still think the U.S. is a better squad than England, but I still think England made me eat crow, really, because I thought England would come up a little bit more flat. But dude,
I just don't know. I don't know if that opponent is enough to say, England.
No,
all our worries, throw them out the window.
They cruised and we busted our balls for 90 minutes.
Exactly.
Well, we played a much harder team.
No,
I know, but I just mean they're going to be coming into the game in a different form.
Exactly. A flat England would have been a 3-0 win. That would have been a flat England. They put 6 on them.
Yeah.
That is an England that's ready to come out and play, ready to actually try to win the cup.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
And their forward depth is really
unreal.
Dangerous.
Oh yeah, for
really
sure.
dangerous.
Unreal.
And I mean their wide backs, are really, really good.
Luke,
really
I
talented.
thought Shaw was in control of that
Shaw's
whole
amazing
game.
when he puts on an England shirt, and Kyle Walker is very good. And look, that's where you're getting the primary push from your attack is those wide backs. So they're gonna have a real test.
It's funny because it's like wide backs, you're talking Dest and Robinson, who kind of started the whole thing for the U.S. today when they were in their best form. And then you look the other way. It's almost like a mirror, right? It feels, minus the fact that there's nothing close to Kane on the U.S. side, right? But play style wise, it's really interesting to watch because both sides are going to have to generate out of that back.
It's been proven that Luke Shaw's a great, it's a country over club kind of guy.
He's like
plays
playoff,
a lot better
it's like
for a
playoff
country.
Rondo, right? Or national TV Rondo, but it's
he's dark zero LeBron James.
Bubble Jamal.
Yeah,
there we go. There's countless comparisons to this guy just showing up for the World Cup constantly. It is what it is.
Yeah. Guys, any final thoughts on the game today?
I have a question for you guys.
Oh, I love that. Better than final
I
thought.
didn't have a sounding board for this morning other than Allie, which, she's the GOAT.
I do respect it.
Yo, shout out super producer Ali.
I needed a more wide range to find out. Am I clear to wear my Tyler Adams leads jersey?
Yeah.
100%.
100%. There's no need for you to hold back. Yeah,
All right,
you're good.
I'm wearing that.
I think I'm bringing it up.
Against England, though? That's an English
no,
side.
you're
Oh,
good.
good point, good point.
I'll save it for Iran.
No. You can wear, this is my opinion, you can wear any shirt as long as it represents your country.
That's fair.
Any jersey is allowable as long as it represents your country. The player represents your country.
All right, fair. I might save it.
I think I'm going to break out the McKinney Schalke kit, actually.
I'm breaking out the Mexico kit for tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
Best of luck.
Done.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
I am terrified for tomorrow. I will cry.
Oh, here's my last point.
Is
Okay.
all I know.
The DNVR bar was
Yeah, let's talk DNVR bar, dude.
Yo, Ali, do you
bar
have
was
the tweet for
unreal.
the goal reaction?
Yeah, that'd be great to put out there.
All good. We can talk about it. A
Yeah,
little
let's
bit,
talk
but,
about it.
It was
Hey,
Yeah,
it's
no
all
worries.
good. No worries.
just the atmosphere in here was legitimately full on like a Denver playoff game for any team.
It felt like it felt in June for the Avalanche playoff run
100%. And I said it. Second loudest I've ever heard the bar besides the last 10 seconds of the Stanley Cup.
of winning a Stanley Cup.
I am proud to say
Yeah.
that. I
Look
was
at
here
this.
for
Look at
both.
these scenes.
Look at all the
Absolute
people
scenes.
just
Absolute scenes.
completely crowded in here.
Yeah,
Go watch it on YouTube, please, please, please,
It-
please, please.
Just absolute limbs everywhere.
What can you expect out of a DNVR U.S. men's national team watch party coming up on Black Friday?
I legitimately think it's going to be a top 5 most insane day in the bar history.
Wait, not even just the World Cup. We also have the Avalanche running at the exact same time.
And the Nuggets.
And the Nuggets
Later.
So it's gonna be a
And the
crazy
Rams,
day in
although I
DNVR
don't-
history.
you know.
And what's better than supporting your local team? Supporting
Black
the nation
Friday's
that's
gonna be
inside
insane.
your local team.
It's going to be so cool. Also, if you hadn't heard, if you weren't here for it, we have a sick deal, which is you buy a pint for $10. There it is. And every beer you drink
Came
for the
out
rest
really
of the
good.
World Cup, if you have that pint, is $2 off. So
Not a bad deal.
Everyone had a good, I thought everyone had a blast today. The Rapids were so awesome.
Yo, all the Rapids were hanging out here. Not all, but like we had Cole
Well-
Bassett, we had
Seb
Ollie
Anderson,
Laraz,
Ollie
Seb
Laraz.
Anderson, our guy Beta. Nice, Allie. Nice.
And we will have also, if you guys stop by anytime in the World Cup, we will have Rapids players here for the most part that you guys can take pictures. We'll be having USA merch. We'll be having Rapids merch. Plus the DNVR merch, where you can still get buy one half off at any events that we have here.
But
So-
I just wanted to thank especially the soccer/football community in Denver
Yup.
because I know it was a sore spot when 3 Lines left. Again, you guys have talked about it. We had nothing to do with it. It's not our fault that 3 Lines is no longer here.
Yeah.
But
Those came
to
out
see
so
this
good.
place full of soccer fans, full of U.S. soccer fans, was special. I felt like we recaptured some of the old magic of that place. So thank you,
Magic.
Denver.
Yeah, and then also from shout out to Dre, who was the OG Rapids guy here, a guy that tried to do Rapids for a long
Made it
time.
happen,
So
man.
shout out to Dre because
Made it happen.
this is
Long
his
journey.
true dream come true, watching World Cup
Long
with the
journey.
company he loves.
Long
Hell
time
yeah.
coming. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank
and I
you all.
mean,
Thank
you
you
know,
all.
obviously Yaya grinded out producing our Rapid show all year and helping us build that relationship. It's been really cool to see. It's a great partnership, and we packed this place out. And Friday, like you thought it was packed out on a Monday.
No.
Black
no.
Friday is going
England
to be
next. England next. Big
Get,
one.
get
It is
here
gonna
early.
be-
You might as well just get here for the 6 a.m.
You
game.
should be here at the
And-
6 a.m. game
But
because
if not, you'll still be able to fit in. Like, we will pack this place
Yes.
completely to the brims.
Yes.
We're dropping that tea in the bay, man. This is the Boston Tea Party all over again. England, eat your words.
Stop,
This is
stop,
thumbs up, baby.
stop,
No more.
stop.
Make it stop.
All right, guys.
Let's beat them, though. Let's get 3.
I'm a Mexico squad, so I don't care.
Yeah, let's go.
There you go.
Yaya, what do you got to plug?
Again, follow DNVR Rapids. Let us know what you want from us. We're more than happy to accommodate most of your requests. Let us know what you want to hear from us. We'll try to talk we always talk soccer here.
I know. We're getting there.
And just
in our
follow us
feels.
on Twitter.
Dre, anything to plug?
Anything at DNVR, I'm plugging. If Yaya's involved, check it out. Praise him profusely, please.
Love that.
Yeah.
RK?
Let's end the show.
Let's end the show. For everybody here, thank you for watching along. We'll see you for the watch along on Friday and up
USA.
the
USA.
USMNT.
USA.